Hi everybody, it's Bruno once again, and this time I'm going to do a review of The Theory of Everything, which is basically a movie that you will all be hearing about because it's about uh, the most famous astrophysicist in the world, Stephen Hawking. And uh, and this I saw this movie on Thanksgiving weekend with my mom. We went to see it, and I have to admit, I absolutely loved this movie. It's so amazing. Uh, it's basically what this movie is actually about is it's about uh, Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking, and it starts out in England in 1963 at Cambridge University, where he went to college, and this starts when he's 21, and he meets this girl named Jane Wilde, played by Felicity Jones, uh, and he falls deeply in love with her. So they start dating, and then uh, Stephen, who was once and when he was in college, he was very active. He put a lot of pride in his work. Uh, he uh, he was like super intelligent, and yeah. And then at and then one day he gets diagnosed with motor neuron disease, which is related to ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. And the doctor tells him that that he has 2 years to live, although that wasn't true. I didn't think they needed that for the movie because his life expectancy was not 2 years. He's still alive today at the age of 72. So that doctor was wrong. And he said that the brain isn't affected. And he said that his thoughts won't change, just no one will know what they are. And everybody knows his thoughts now. Everyone knows what he's thinking. Like, he invented the black hole theory. He's the one that made the black hole theory famous, like the universe starting with a black hole exploding, or a big bang, or whatever you want to call it. He made that theory what it is today. And, uh, basically, uh, Stephen just wants Jane to leave him, because since he has 2 years to live, like the doctor said, he has a lot of work to do. He has a lot of work to do before he goes. And he thinks that if he stays with Jane, it will affect his disease. It will affect everything, like he said in the trailer. So, in the year 1965, they get married, and they have a kid right away. They wanted to get things done and over with, just in case he dies by then, but actually he didn't. And uh, he by the time he's married, he's on a cane, walking with a cane, and then over time his walking gets slower, so he has to be on two canes, and then he can't really walk that much anymore, so he transfers to a wheelchair, and then I think he goes to France or something, like Paris or something. He gets invited to an opera show. So he goes to the opera and he gets pneumonia. And the doctor said that he will never speak again. And and Jane said yes he will. So so she gets the spelling board from the doctor, and it shows like which color that he wants, like each color has like a letter and a group of letters, so he'll blink to choose the letter he wants to say. And then when he memorized the whole spelling board. He, uh, some like, uh, some like tech whiz or something like that. He puts, a computer in his wheelchair, and he has this like remote control that he controls with his uh, he controls it by pushing, a silver rectangle, and it chooses the words that he wants to say in the computer. Like everyone knows him for that robot computer voice that goes, "My name is Stephen Hawking," and Jane says, "It's American." It's because he's British, and the guy who installed it said, "Is that a problem?" Yeah, he said that was the only, voice that they had at the time, so he decided to stick with that. And there are a couple funny scenes in this movie, there's this one part where uh, it kind of goes with this because he can't really walk up the stairs that much, so Jane moves his bed downstairs. So he's laying in bed, and he says to Jane, "Well, it was convenient for breakfast." Get it? Because breakfast in bed? Huh. So he was just there, and I think Jane made him breakfast in bed. That was cool. And there's this and and there's this scene where with a Penthouse magazine, a dirty magazine, and Steven says, that's not mine. I'm holding that for a friend." And that was when he had a nurse at the time. Uh, and he says, she's like, "You dirty little man. Let's look at it together." So she puts it on the stand for him to look at, and they're both looking at it. And the expression on Steven's face, it kind of looks like he's enjoying the experience. And a guy walks into the room, and he's like, "Okay, I better get out of here." Oh my god, I didn't even know that Stephen Hawking was so dirty, so suggestive. But that was pretty cool. I never even knew he had such a dirty sense of humor. Yeah. And there's this one scene where his friend is carrying him up the stairs, and he said, "You just had 3 kids." And Steven says, "Well, it doesn't affect that part." That is so funny. Yeah, in case you're wondering, he's talking about his I don't want to say it, but whatever. So that's basically it. Uh, oh yeah, he also becomes friends with his professor, which at first his professor didn't like him because he wasn't really paying attention because he was so in love with Jane. Like he was staring at a book, and the book had uh, a a paper towel with her phone number on it, and the professor's like, "Dr. Hawking," and he closes the book. Yeah. Uh, and then he figures out about the black hole theory that he came up with, and he's like, "Brilliant, Stephen. Well done, Doctor." That's what he says. And so ever since then, they were friends. And then, towards the end, where he writes a book, where Stephen writes a book, uh, his professor says, It's been a privilege to watch this man defy every expectation, both scientifically and personally." And there's this one thing in the trailer. I don't remember the full thing that he said from the movie, from the end of the movie, but he says there should be no boundary to human endeavor. However bad life may seem, where there is life, there is hope. And I definitely agree with that. Where there is life, there is hope. Yeah, that is a good thing that he said. He said they extended it for the movie, and in one part of towards the end, this student that was there for the Q&A session for the book, she drops her pen, and basically Stephen Hawking has this hallucination where he gets up, picks up the pen, and gives it to her. Although I didn't, I was like, oh no, you don't do that, Stephen, please. But I knew it was a fantasy. I knew it was in his head that he should do that. But, whatever. So, that's basically it, guys. Thank you all for watching, and until the next video, see ya.